Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Show here, and now, before I do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, Deku was still recovering. He used a super stim pack to help fully regenerate his left leg, and the medical doctors were quite interested to discover more about FEV mutant properties. Deku is a strange phenomenon for them to study in real time. Every day, he not only regenerates bone, he regenerates muscle, cartilage, skin, all these interesting things. While he was recovering, there was even talk about if Deku can regenerate a left eye. And he even talked to the Overseer about a few other things. The man was happy to see that Deku was in better shape than what they found him in. And fact of the matter was, there's a lot going on whenever it does come to what they're going to be doing, whenever it does come down to the people who were on that team. One of the overseers, a distant relative of Ben, wants to charge him with murder. But the other overseers are bringing up about the problem with that. The boy made his choices to go out there. Every choice he made was good until it eventually led up to his death. So they can only blame him up until then blame someone else? It's not a very good strategy. While there will be punishment fitting this, the death penalty will not be it. Deku, he, however, talked about taking his sister up to the surface and essentially giving her what she wants. However, it's more of a scared straight program. People only know about the danger of the wasteland that they've been able to confirm. They know that there are people up there. They know there are mutants up there and monsters up there. However, people are still trying to figure out how exactly Deku does work. Some don't believe that he can turn into a 20-foot tall murder lizard with fucking knives for hands. However, most people are now forced to realize some of that is true after watching a man with a missing arm suddenly regrow it about a week later. Now, with that being said, Deku had a heart-to-heart with Mia. He talked to her, told her a few things about what happened, and even gave her the bad news. People have died under his command. He's had to kill people he didn't want to, like Tommy. And he even told her about a few other stories. Now, he plans to tell her more about everything, but she's not ready for the gruesome stuff. He even told her about how Marcy is pregnant, and she was alarmed by all of this. He then had a talk with William, where William, he pissed himself after realizing that Deku was completely serious about what he was saying. He has options, but some of them, he'd have to cut ties with Mia if he does choose them. Now then, with that being said, let me go ahead and give a brief continuation, or let's go ahead and continue, my bad. Now, we'll start with Deku. Deku, he's fully regenerated his left hand. The only thing left now is some of his nails that are still having some trouble growing. And he does try to think about a few things. He put out the word about recruiting for the surface team. There are already a number of people who've gone out there who are handpicked by the overseers. But he has been trying to avoid using regular humans. And right now, he does sit before quite a number of people. Most of the mutants are here, and a good number of humans are as well. And he does begin to express, standing before all of them in this large room. Now, Before they do begin, are there any questions? Any concerns he should be addressed about? Someone raising their hand, and Deku does get to tell Evelyn. No, she cannot read minds, if that was her question. And no, she shouldn't try to look into his head again. Her going to lower her hand and express. That wasn't exactly her question. Her question was if he's going to regenerate the eye. I don't know. Any other questions about me? No? Good. Listen, in front of you all are information. Pass it around with each other and take a good look. I currently have a plan to take some of you out there. At least a dozen. 2 of the spots are already picked out and reserved. The other spots are open for many people. Now, be aware of this, all of you. 5 of you are going to be picked from the mutants. And of the humans, I'm going to be picking 5 as well. The other 2 spots are in reserve for guest. Wait, so that means 14 of us are going out? Yes, 14. I was going to do a clean dozen, but I don't believe that can happen. Now, we're not going to be going far on our first little expedition. As for the mutants, I'm going to be taking out most of you who I have not taken out before. It will take some time to fully go around all of you, but I wish to give you all experience out there. Some of the basic stuff. And once I believe that others have had that same experience, I will begin to allow them their own free reign. However, I would also like them to at least give back contact with us. Now, you all know about the 3 squads who have gone out there. Primarily my 6-man squad, the unregistered squad, and the Black Mountain team. The Black Mountain team took significant fire against super mutants, and after their inspection of the area, they have determined the damage I caused to the array can be repaired. It's just a station. None of the main stuff has been damaged. It will take a little bit of time, and with our resources, it should be done. Now, it's already almost repaired, so that does mean fairly soon we'll have a comms array in the area for all of us to use and be around the wasteland. Now, as for bad news, I will tell you all. The area it does encompass is a bit of a spot. So we would need teams to set up a full comms array. Places for the signal to increase. Do all of you understand this? Some nodding their heads. Listening, quite interested. Good. One of the areas that can cover a significant distance is Vegas. Mr. House has agreed with some conditions to help boost our signal. We would already be able to reach Vegas, but Vegas is a midway point. Over at Nellis Air Force Base, where the boomers are, we would be able to increase our range more. And with just a few other spots, we might be able to piggyback around the wasteland everywhere. Now, with that being said, I do hope all of you understand this. With a full comms array, a lot of things can happen for us. It'd be good. Now, I'm sure all of you are curious as to the teams I'm going to be picking. However, I'll tell you all right now. I'm picking Mia and William. And before anyone has said anything about favoritism, these are your squad mates. And this is a punishment detail for them. They wish to see the wasteland, so they will see the wasteland. Now, as for the other 5 humans who are going to be coming along with us today, you will divvy that amongst yourselves. As for the mutants, I would rather you not fight each other right now. So, this is going to be quite simple. Of the many of you I have yet to tussle with or go over your information with, we have this. Johnny, you're on the team. Hope you don't feel bad about killing your own kindsman. Or I guess kin. What? We're going to a small power area where there are golden geckos. I'm fairly certain it's that or green. You can breathe fire, correct? Yes, sir. But what does that have to do with anything? Geckos. Yes, Johnny. Geckos. Now, we're going to be going there to clear the area. There has been a radiation spill there, and with the power plant the way it is, we are hoping to do more there. It's simple. If we can take the power plant, we can set up shop there for a little bit of time. Perhaps even do a bit more. It's the closest area between Camp Searchlight and a local town known as Novak. That place, it is pretty good. It's important. It's a trade outpost. And it's by another significant structure known as Helios 1. The place that has been supplying the area with power in the region. Now, I don't need to tell you how important that place is. Everyone listening to Deku raptured by what he's talking about. The humans were already talking to each other about how to handle this. But when they heard him mention a few places out there, they were listening interestedly. And Deku does talk about it. Now, as for the mutant squad, as I said before, Johnny, you're up. Miss Stevens, you're up. As well as Miss Julia and, well, Logan, you're up. Now, how many of you exactly are ready to know what I'm talking about? Isn't that only 4? Yes, it is. But Miss Holt, I don't think I've properly assessed your own combat potential as well. Yes, I understand. Good. Now, that is the team for the mutants. And if the humans are still going to be squabbling for some time, I believe it is imperative that you all begin to get ready. 1 hour. Know this before we do disperse. I'm going to be giving all of you access to the surface. This does come with a benefit. The mutants already had this access. And you now all do in this room. Come see me. Before we do go, I will make things clear in our briefing above. A little bit of the cliff notes. The mutants are going to be getting special treatment when it does come to rations. Our metabolisms are quite high, and you really don't want to be in the middle of us when we get hungry. Trust me, it's a bad idea. As for the humans, you're going to be getting a little bit more leeway whenever it does come to water, along with, at least, your bitching. Excuse me? I'm bulletproof. You're not. That's what I'm talking about. If any of you do sustain significant damage, then we'll be brought back to Camp Searchlight. As for what would happen if the mutants are harmed, well, it would be the same thing. But by that point, some of you may be dead. You all have seen the condition I've been brought back in. It was almost in a body bag. And my wife gave me quite some flack for that. I had to sleep on the couch. Deku going to give a bit of a shit-eating grin, talking about it. Now, if they think that can happen to him, and he can regrow limbs, how much danger do they think he's been in to leave scars? Him looking around the room. And some people, they can already see that scar poking out of the side of his shirt, the one in his neck and shoulder. They don't want to know where that one came from. But some of them have their theories. But then there's that one on his face. I mean, hell, he's still got some of the pink scars from the Deathclaw attacks on the side of his face and his eye. The Autodoc killed a lot of them. And there's that guy who does think Deku just kept that scar on his face to be cool. Though the Autodoc, it could have taken care of it, right? And right now, Deku, he does go to give everybody access whenever he does go to get their names and send out details later. Right now, him getting up as Marcy and Chloe, they have their own things going on. Chloe is going to be meeting him on the surface. Right now, however, she should be at home getting a few of the supplies ready. And he is not going to miss an opportunity to get a shower in before they do leave. Right now, him rushing home. And he does go to get to his door. Whenever he does so, he does see a woman in a lab coat. Her going to turn with a casserole in her hands. And Deku does it to stop seeing his mother. Hello, Izuku. Hi, Mom. I'm a little busy at the moment. Him going to step forwards and go to unlock his door. As it is a slight open, and he does go to wave her inside. Her stepping in as he does it to follow and close the door. Her setting it down in front of the table as she does go to talk about it. He's been quite evasive as of late, and she's happy to see he's doing better. Her stepping over and bring up her hands. Deku going to raise his left hand as she does go to examine the limb. No nerve damage? Nothing the Autodoc didn't fix. I see. The limb was good, but it wasn't perfect. Is the twitch in your finger gone? Yes, it is. Though to be honest, I got used to it. You shouldn't. That can cause some problems further down the line. Your eye? Mom, I'm fine. You're trying to beat around the bush on something. What is it? I see. We've been going over some of the research data on you and the others. And, well, my boss is pushing me away from much of the data pertaining to you. I've seen some of what's happened to the other mutants. And you're lucky to still be human, son. I see. How many? How many what? How many people died? Over 100. We're still going over some more information, and from the remains we found, it's not good. Shit. Yes, Izuku, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. Your father and I wanted to have a family dinner. I'm kind of taking Mia out today. Yes, that's also another thing I wanted to discuss with you. You really think taking her out there is the best idea? Mom, they're trying to book her with murder. I'm well aware. What do you want me to do? Besides, I protected her. I got her out of there, and I got her out of that situation. Right now, if you want to go see her, go to the surface. You're a doctor. And they could use you up there. Trust me. Marcy's talked about wanting to be done with it, but she knows she's not. She doesn't like killing Mom. You care for her quite a bit. I do. She's my wife. So is Chloe. Yes, well, there is that situation. If you don't like it, Mom, maybe try spending some years with people in some dangerous shit. People need comfort. Izuku, I'm well aware of how humans think. We're pack animals. Are, well, I know what you meant, Mom. We're all still animals. But it doesn't just shut off like you think. Once you're up there, it's how things are. We were trained to deal with it. I'm coping. But I'm still up there. We weren't ready for some of it. There's no way to prepare people for stuff like that. Have you talked to your doctor? My therapist? Yes, I have. She's officially closed the file after I gave her my report. And you're not allowed access to that. You're correct on that. I have to be very hands off when it does come to you. I don't like that. As I said, I would like us to all have a sit down for a family dinner. Invite the Mendezes and invite the Winters, and we'll all talk. As awkward as it may be, with your sister being... I know. Listen, maybe we can do a family dinner. Mia is supposed to stay up on the surface. But I'm fairly certain once they hear about what she's seen, they'll be a little bit more apologetic. Plus, giving them some time to cool down would be better. Maybe tonight, but you promise me one thing? And what is that? Can you make those sweet rolls the way you do? I mean, the fluffiness of them is just good sometimes, and, well, can you not make anything pork? But you love pork chops. I know, just no pork, please. If you do, can you at least make extra sauce? That's all I'm asking. Okay. But why? Mom, I'm just asking. Okay, don't bite my head off. Her wincing at the statement. And Deku does get a sigh. Mom, I've already... I'm supposed to be getting ready for an expedition. I can probably talk to you later. Stop by. I can give the overseers... I can ask them to give you clearance if you're really curious about some of the stuff I've seen out there. I'm quite curious. I've been restricted as a medical professional, however. I know. Listen, I'll put in the request, and then we'll see. As for inviting the families, I'm uncertain of it. Marcy's talked about it already. She, I'm trying to change the subject. Chloe's waiting for me in the room. I've got to pack my bag, get my gun, and find all our caps. It'll take me some time, but I'll put in that request later, Mom. I really gotta deal with all this. Her watching as Deku does make his way over to the bedroom. And right now, she does go to leave. Deku finding Chloe hiding in the bedroom. Right now, her quite happy that Miss Midoriya is gone. She could hear them. And right now, she's just happy she doesn't have to try and talk to that woman. I mean, she's a good woman, but it just feels a bit awkward. You know? I mean, they're all together. It's not like he's a two-timer. She knows Deku better than that. Oh, okay. Chloe. Yeah? Everything packed? Yeah, I've got it all packed. The money, the stims, and the medics, along with the guns. Good. We still got about 45 minutes, and I think I need a shower. How about you? This is a dangerous invitation. A tempting offer? Come on. We're probably not going to be able to shower again for a few days. Best to take the chance while it's there. See, now I know you're using that silver tongue. Her going to turn and bolt to the shower. As Deku, he does this one smile. Turning and looking at the 45 caliber pistol that's laid out with a vest. Along with the fact that he does a turn staring at a gauntlet and some armor. There's a lot going on. Right now, him picking up the 45 and staring at it. He could take some lessons from an old friend. He can learn from the past and bury the future. There's a lot of things he could do. Kill all those who get in his way and be full of hate. But he doesn't really hate. And that's not what this world is about. It's about survival. It's about staying alive to the next day. But that just doesn't feel real anymore. I mean, he's lived several months back in the vault and things don't blur together the same way anymore. Maybe it's just his imagination. Him turning and going to set down the gun carefully, as he does a stand and go to leave. Now, we do have the full hour later. People, they had the same ideas. Quickly rinse off and shower and pack their gear. However, they did have to run over to the quartermasters to gain weaponry. And this definitely was something. Right now there is currently Deku. Deku does stand there in some combat armor. Or no, he does stand there in some riot gear. Right now him with a bit more extra armor on his left side. As he does also have a duster covering himself. Him with a hood that does to cover the top of his head. And he does talk about it. Wearing a bandana and going to wear a pair of wraparound goggles. Telling everybody, it's going to be a bit bright out there. Him going to gesture to a box full of goggles. Telling all of them, this is going to be one of their best friends. He saw some of their reactions the moment they got out of the elevator. And trust him, the first time was practically blinding. All of them going to take a pair And he does get a look around, seeing how some of them are dressed. Some of them do have combat boots. All of them do, in fact. However, the way they do have their laces tied are all different. You can see dog tags hanging. And he does quickly admonish this because it could be grabbed by somebody. They can be pulled or taken away. And he does then go to talk about it, turning to look at everybody who do wear various stages of long clothing to short clothing. About what's going to happen. Right now, they'll head out. Once they get there, it's going to be quite the interesting sight for all of them. Do they all understand? They're going to be hiking, not taking the vehicles. What? Why not? Vehicles generate too much sound. If you want to have the experience of a wastelander, you're going to move like a wastelander. Just keep your eyes sharp and be ready. Him going to turn. Right now, him with his 45, his knife, his arrows, his bow, and his rifle. And all of them do get a follow. Right now, him heading out. Now, they do get to begin walking down the road. And everyone, they do get to get a look at the area where the Gek has terraformed the ground. The moment they step out of the airport, the dry, somewhat stale air, it turned into the smell. It's not bad, but it's just earthy. The sky had wind and there were clouds up there. It wasn't bad. Though there was where the sand all around them that should have been there, it was turning to dirt. There were clumps of sand still left in areas where it wasn't as hard packed, but I mean, that's genuine dirt with grass starting to grow. And it just seemed weird to them. Even Deku found himself staring. Though, when they made their way over to Camp Searchlight, they saw what's been happening. Their people have started to erect walls around the town. And they've already cleared out some of the old abandoned buildings and pulled them down, beginning to use debris. The only thing that does still stand is the old fire station that was left here. And that it is a very significant building. They found radioactive waste around it, and they've already begun to move the barrels away. Though there is talk about using them for something further down the line. And that they are in consideration of. Now, we do have where everybody, they do start their patrol down the highway, making their way towards the old power plant. And some people, they're still looking around at the sky, still looking out into the open expanse of the desert. And when the Lucky 38 came into view, some of them were just shocked and awed, trying to figure out what to say to it. They want to take a picture, because that is the actual fucking Lucky 38 of Vegas. It's actual proof that the city still stands. It could have been one of the only places, no, the most notable place to fall. I mean, it's the tallest building they've ever seen. I mean, they've never actually seen a building. And that's the thing people somewhat begin to talk about. Deku, he does go to turn, him whistling at them to cut down the chatter. And everyone, they do get to stare at him. He does get to walk. Right now, he does have an arrow in his left hand and his bow in his right. And Chloe, she is on his left, somewhat talking about it. It's kind of ironic. What? You know, they're a bit like us. I know. How's my sister? I'm keeping an eye on her. Is she doing anything stupid? No, but I do think your stern warning against that guy has done something. He's not really that talkative to her. Good. She can do better. Oh, really? Someone decided to play matchmaker? I'm just saying. There's better guys out there than him. Besides, I've been through the same things he's done. Oh, so you've used your exceeding charisma to dazzle the pants off of a girl? Hmm, I wouldn't exactly call it my charisma. I think that's just part of my charm. Charm? That's basically the same thing. Not really. Oh, please do enlighten me, O wise one. Well, hmm. If I really had to talk about it, charm is more personal, more intimate. It's something one on one. Like I'm there for you, where charisma is about confidence. Does that make sense? Okay, I kind of get it. I see where you're going for with that. What you guys talking about? Tracy walking up to Deku's right, and he does a turn as she does a turn looking behind them. And Deku, he does a glance at her duster as she does talk about it, turning back around and expressing. Their six is cleared. Though, are they talking about something stupid? Not really. Kind of an intellectual one, I guess. It's been a while since we've had chats like this. Like what? Well, she's talking. She's asking about the difference between charm and charisma. I mean, there is a difference. I kind of see it. Charm is something more personal. That's what he said. Or were you just repeating him? Not really. Confidence is there. It's present. It makes itself known. It's not afraid of being seen. And it's something big. It's something about how much the operation can be seen. Like, I think, a pre-war business? I don't know, maybe that's a bad example. Hmm, kind of. I think that makes sense. You have to have the confidence to do it and be successful. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going for with that. That makes a lot more sense. Hmm, I get it, but charm is more romantic. It certainly sounds that way. So you're saying it's more intimate, from what I'm hearing? Yeah, it is. But there's other things to charm. Not just intimacy, but how a person acts, how they are. Stuff like that. Confidence is how they use that charm. I think she hit the nail on the head there. She's not wrong. But there's more to it. And I'm very much willing for a physical demonstration. Right now, Chloe going to turn and give another glare at Tracy. And he does get to somewhat bring his hands up and tell both of them, that's enough. Right now, Tracy somewhat snapping her attention to Deku. And Chloe does get to turn her head as he does express. If the two are going to be fighting, then they'll split the teams up. And Chloe will be in charge of her team. him giving a direct look at Tracy. And she does open her mouth to say something, but Deku does a turn. Him pulling back the bow and going to aim, or if he does see something up ahead. Right now, there is a group of people currently at the power station, and they're harvesting the geckos that Deku planned for them to hunt. It doesn't look too good. From what he can tell, they're wastelanders. And when the group does a turn, seeing the vault dwellers coming up to them, Deku does go to keep his bow halfway drawn. Right now, him lowering it and stepping forwards. And the group, they do go to stare at this place. It's a smaller nuclear reactor hooked up to the local grid, and assumably, it's what powered the nearby town. But there's nothing here. There's these people, and, well, they don't seem to be a threat. Deku approaching them. And the group does stare at this massive caravan. They do try to ask some questions. Deku somewhat waving them off and asking about anything happening nearby. If the NCR still hold Helios 1. And Deku does get a confirmation. Right now, him a bit curious about that. And he does even go to ask again. What about the nearby town? Nelson? No. As far as we know, there's still a situation going on there. Situation? Yes. Nelson was recently invaded. The last couple of weeks, we've had reports of the Legion being there. Well, we've heard them. We don't know if it's still in their custody, but the NCR have been fighting for it back. They've taken it back once, and they lost quite a few guys from what we heard. Then the Legion rolled back in with heavier forces. They rolled them over. That's, what we heard. Nice. Thanks. Deku pulling his pack off and handing the man a purified water. And he does to take it and go to shake it as he does raise it up to Deku. Right now, him somewhat saluting him for this reward. And he does a turn, talking about how they can look at the nearby situation with Nelson. If they can take it back from the Legion, that could be another good idea. Then again, they do also have the Mark of Kaisar. That means one other thing. Right now, no one will shoot at them as long as he bears that mark. But if they can take back Nelson quickly and efficiently, with none of the Legion escaping, then it can be kept under wraps. Does everyone understand this? What are you doing? Well, our operation got sidetracked. And from what I'm hearing, Nelson's a very good opportunity for all of you to see what goes on in the wasteland. The NCR, as I'm fairly certain, is standing there twiddling their thumbs trying to figure out what to do, instead of taking action. That's a bad thing. Now, this is good for us. Chloe, you know what to do. I can do that. Though, Nelson... It's that way. Them gonna head off. And when they do start their new march to the road, they do go to run into one problem. 4 large people in power armor suits. And the moment Deku does it to see them, he does get to recognize the model, the make, and that oh so familiar steel helmet. Right now, him glaring at it, as he does is see a squad of Brotherhood soldiers. And right now, they do go to block their path. Deku drew his bow when he saw them. However, the man, he had his weapon raised, and he made things quite clear. Lower their weapons, now. Who are you? Pit boy. He has a pit boy. Horns. And mutants. He's him, isn't he? I think that's him. Reports indicated, though, that he was, well, different. Time has changed. As far as we know, he's still him, right? What's the Brotherhood doing out here? Thought you were hiding in your bunker. We're looking for Izuku Midoriya, along with the Vault Dwellers from Camp Searchlight. We're heading there now. However, we got reports that you were heading this way. You've been spying on us. We've been having reconnaissance on you and your group. Right now, Deku gonna feel someone grab his arm, and he does at a turn, looking back to see Tracy. And she does a turn around and step forwards, or stepping backwards, asking him about what the hell is going on. These guys are power armor troopers. The Brotherhood. A faction of power armor-clad people. Militaristic organization. Power structure. Kind of like ours. Not like the Enclaves, though. And again, I could be wrong. What is going on? Are they hostile? I need to know. I can rush him quickly, and if I can pull that Gauss rifle from the man's hand. You think you're that quick? I know I'm that quick. Just give me some cover, and I can rub some dust for her to hide. Right? That's your power? It's fair. Though I think they're trying to negotiate. Am I back on this, Chloe? I'm here. If I need to, I'm ready to get the humans out. Deku turning his head. And right now, he does it to ask the man. Exactly what is he trying to negotiate on? What is he here for? They found him. So, talk. Our organization, the Brotherhood of Steel. We want to take you in. We wish to open negotiations with your vaults. And begin an exchange with technology. Learn more information. As far as we are aware, you hold possession of a device known as a Gek, something that can terraform the wasteland. We've been noticing its change in the Mojave. Along with that, we also believe you have important information, pre-war data, and various amounts of assorted pre-war technology. You want to take us in for that? Really? Yes. Our organization doesn't believe you should hold that much technology, have that much power. We're also aware of your alliance with Mr. House, but he's out of your reach. Let me guess. You think you can't get past his robot army, so you're not going to try. You know you'll fail. I also think you're interested in the FEV research. Am I right? Yes, that's another various factor. As far as we understand, you are something new. My superiors have made things quite clear. You are a threat. Really? A threat? I'm only a threat if I want to be a threat. And if you think I'm a threat, then that means you're fucking doing something wrong. We're just trying to follow our orders. We don't have to deal with you. But we are. As far as we're concerned, you're a monster? An abomination? Come on, I want to hear you say it. Send a fucking amateur to deal with us. Right now, Tracy spinning around and going to glare at Deku. And she does it to ask about what the hell he's doing. This is fruitless. We don't know these guys. I do. They're bad. Are they? How bad? Zealots for pure tech and don't think you can handle a toaster. In the simplest and easiest terms, they're that bad. Former leader did a lot of bad shit too. And if they're after us, that can be a good sign. Though it means we're doing something right. NCR has declared them all terrorists, and, well, they're a little like the Enclave. Her nodding her head. And Chloe does go to turn. And the people, they do go to express, stay where they are. They only wish to open negotiations for technology. That was all. And Deku does get a turn, looking at the other mutants. Going to express. He's discussing things with his team. And they'll get back to him in a minute. Just stay there. I said stop where you are. I fucking said stay right there. For someone trying to negotiate, you don't understand how to fucking talk to someone. Try listening first. Him turning away from the man. And Deku can't see it, but the man is a bit red in the face. And he is angry. He was sent here to try and negotiate. And it is not working at all. He wonders why. And Deku does go to turn to his team. Right now, him talking about it. Right now, they're in a bit of a situation. They got 4 armor-clad idiots, and they've got to deal with them. Julia, how does she feel about taking one on? I should be able to handle it. Tracy, you willing to pair up? Sure, but I'd rather try and take one on my own. I can clear distance and move fast. Logan, I can throw fire. And I can move pretty well. I'm faster too. Good. Sherry? Yes, I got some movement speed. As well as claws if I do attempt my shift. Good. Him turning to the humans. And all of them do go to someone stand there, trying to figure out what Deku's next move is. And a firefight with a power armor squad wasn't exactly how they thought this would go. And Deku does talk about it. Right now, he wants someone to try and pull the fusion core out of that guy's armor. They'll take him as a hostage. As for the rest of the team, execute them. That should be simple. If they take him as a hostage, it can show much. Shouldn't we take them all as hostages? Okay, this is insane, Izuku. Him turning to Mia. And she does talk about it. They should try and talk to them. For Christ's sakes, they're in power armor. Mia, you can't negotiate with them. Have you tried? I have. It didn't end well. He's right, Mia. You don't know what they did. Deku turning to Chloe. And he does go to bring a hand up onto her arm. Right now, him telling her, Just ignore that for right now. After everything, just push it away. Deal with it later. Her nodding her head and trying to shake the thoughts away. And Mia does see genuine concern on Deku's face, along with genuine anger and fear on Chloe's. These guys did something bad, and that does have her concern now. He got worried, but not about these people. Okay, if they get into a firefight, they're probably gonna die. Okay, they need a defense. Okay, but if we're gonna fight them then, I have a grenade. A guy going to hold up a weapon. Right now, him trying to gesture to it a bit more with his fist next to it. And he does try not to lean as forward as he is. However, he does somewhat going to fail. And Deku does get a turn. Expressing. Fine. Humans get down when things go crazy. Right now, they can see how the mutants do handle things. This is a bit too far over their head than he'd like. Everyone just hit the deck, and if they see a grenade, toss it back. Right now, he would recommend them to go into retreat. There's not much danger back down that road. And Deku does a turn back, talking about it. Alright, he's willing to discuss terms of his surrender. I'm glad you see to reason. Yeah, I do. If you surrender, then we won't kill all of you. You won't be taken prisoner and left alive. And your men won't die in their suits. I don't think you understand how this is going. No, I don't think you understand how this is going at all. Deku raising his bow. And the moment the bow was raised, there was where Sherry, her, and Tracy immediately ran forwards. Deku drawing his bow back and firing at the guy carrying the Gauss rifle. And that it did go to punch right through the man as he was alarmed. The force of the strike knocking him backwards as the arrow, it punched a hole directly through his armor and right into his right lung. Him letting go of the weapon as he does go to fall backwards. Him trying to get back to his feet but highly alarmed by the attack. And there was where Sherry and Tracy, they immediately went for the two other people with weapons. Right now, Julia, she went rushing forwards and began to change into her Yao Guai form. Right now, her getting larger and larger as the man, he does begin to fire rounds, or I guess fire lasers, directly at Julia. Him marking her hide as she's going to rush in and crash into the man, bowling him over. And there was Tracy. Tracy brought up her brass knuckles. She immediately was able to bat the man's Tesla cannon away. He was trying to aim for the large woman. However, he was also trying to aim for the massive Deathclaw guy who was firing at him. An arrow does strike him directly in the arm. Right now, it bouncing off of his armor as Tracy, she went to land directly into him. Her bowling the man over as she started punching away at his helmet. And he brought his hands up. Her leaping up into the air as there was where Sherry, she took on the other person with power armor. Right now, her going to move in quickly with a knife in her claws. And Deku, he does go to pull back his bow as the man with the weapon, he does keep his attention focused on Deku, who currently is drawing back his bowstring and firing at him. However, he does go to pull the weapon, the lever action weapon, off of his back. Him beginning to fire and fire and fire. And this does catch his attention. Him highly annoyed as he does go to rush at Deku. And Deku, he does go to stare at that. Right now, him going to bring his right hand up and go to shift it. Him going to elongate it and increase its strength. And whenever he does go to move to the right, he does go to move quickly. The man, alarmed as Deku, does a bring his hand up and go to strike him across his helmet with his massive Deathclaw arm. And this does go to catch him off guard. Deku shifting his hands back as he does a move, him leaping forwards with his right leg changed. And there was where the man turned, threw out a punch, and Deku, he did get a turn, avoiding it as the guy tried to grab him. And there was currently Chloe. Chloe, when the chaos started, turned invisible. And she does go to bring her hands up and immediately rip the fusion core out of the man's armor. As the man's armor does at a stop while he's trying to figure out a best plan to take down Deku. But he currently doesn't find himself locked in his armor. Him turning his head and going to see his other people. Right now, he does go to watch as one of them, they do to lay there with a disarmed suit. A disarmed suit. Right now, the fusion core, it does go to be tossed around in someone's hand. Him turning and seeing the woman who grabbed his. He does also go to watch as another person, they do have a lot of damage on their armor. They're currently still trying to tussle around with the bunny woman. However, it's not going too well for them. One's dead, two are disabled, and the other one might shortly follow. Him watching as there is where a man does a step forwards and bring up his hands. Him sucking a breath as a blowout fire directly into the guy in power armor. Tracy backing away and turning to roar profanities directly at him. Mad and angry about what he's doing. When Deku does get a turn saying that, the man does look on horrified. That man is a living flamethrower. And there is where he does a rush forwards and go to ball the person in power armor over, surprising him. Since that guy doesn't look like much. And right now, he does go to watch the person fall over and crash down. Him rushing forwards and quickly ripping the power core directly out of his armor. Him turning to try and move and then immediately going to freeze. And Deku does a turn watching the two begin to somewhat bicker and yell at each other. Him whistling to Johnny and Tracy. As Sherry does it come over and hold up her prize. And Deku does it tell all of them. Good job. That was a pretty basic way of doing it, though. Basic? We still got it done. You did. That's why you did good. Anyways. Now, Deku turning back to the man. And he does go pull off the helmet. But he does go to stare at the man. Right now, him expressing. If he doesn't want to stay out here and bake in what's left of the desert sun, then he really should go ahead and listen to what he has to say. They can put the helmet right back on, and he can stay here for however long it does take for the Brotherhood to find him. Really? You're going to try and starve us out? Listen, just get me out of here. You don't give the orders. Now, go ahead and listen to me. Tell us what you're after. Afterwards, we'll let you go. You will? I'll even let you out of the armor. You know my reputation, and you should know it's not worth trying to fight me. Especially hand to hand. We know. We'll comply. Stand down. Him going to give the orders to his men. And Deku does it a turn and go to give the orders to release what's left of the knights from their armor. And they go to listen. The people do go to get out. A woman and another young man. Right now, Deku going to watch as the three, they are brought together. And he does ask, again, now that he's given them a sign of his mercy and that he's willing to negotiate, he wants to know, what exactly are the Brotherhood after? If you reason with me, I can reason with you. I can figure out what the fuck you're doing. Why you're trying to attack us. We've gained data. We've gone through the records we took from your Pit Boys when you were in our custody. You explore vaults, correct? Abandoned pre-war locations. Multiple places. You've traveled around. You went to Vault 22 and we've checked out the area. It's as you said before. But we were trying to discover if you had any records of going to Vault 34. Why? Because we've sent a team out there to look into Vault 34. We've been trying to find an old world relic. Something that we believe is highly dangerous. We believed it to be a rumor, but with our change in leadership, we're trying to recover it as quickly as possible. I see. Is it a weapon? It is. Of course you're going after weapons. I think I know what it is. Chloe stepping forwards. And whenever she does say that, Deku immediately does a turn, giving her a look that tells her everything. And right now Deku does get a turn back, pulling his pistol and blowing the man's head off. For he does a turn and fire rounds into the other two. And this doesn't happen, people do to stare on horrified. As Deku does a turn around and express. Now, this is going to be very simple. They're going to get the armor and take it back to the airport. Right now, they need to dispose of these four. The Brotherhood of Steel may be coming after their vaults. And people do wear their shocked expressions. But the seriousness in Deku's commanding voice does mean much. The look on his face is not good. It's bad. In the situation, it seems bad. Especially after the execution he just did. And right now, he does give the orders, tossing fusion cores around for people to go to get armor. And when they do go to start heading back to the airport, Deku does have a lot going through his head. He's got to inform the Vault that a organization armor-clad in power armor may be coming after them, just because he suspected they might have that pulse gun. Then the fact that they have pre-war technology, which means they already had a target on their back. A lot of it. Then they took down the Enclave and took their technology and the FEV. It's a whole thing. And that is not good. This shit, it just keeps getting piled higher. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.